So for those of you who have been following my channel for a while, you may remember that a few years back I did a top 12 countdown of my favorite Christmas movies and TV specials. Well now, in the spirit of the holidays, I've decided to do a semi-sequel of sorts and talk about another aspect of Christmas time that can be just as nostalgic. Christmas commercials. In between your festivities and watching all those favorite movies that come back to our TV sets every year, all sorts of companies will slap snow, lights, and red and green all over their products in an effort to try and get you to squeeze just one more box under your tree. Now we can argue all day about the effects of capitalism and how we shouldn't get so hung up on presents and that what matters most is our families and all that. All of that is valid criticism of commercialism. And yes, while at the end of the day every ad is trying to sell you something, there are quite a few that can pull on the heartstrings or leave you with a nice feeling or just get a laugh out of you even if you're not interested in the product at all. And some have become such household staples that we look forward to seeing them every year, and each time we do, we get flashbacks to our childhoods of gathering with our families and waiting up for Santa to come. So in the holiday spirit, I've decided to highlight a few of my all-time favorite Christmas commercials. Some of these ads are weird, some pull on the heartstrings, others are just funny, some have been playing for decades, others are more recent. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but they all evoke some kind of holiday cheer. One stipulation is that these all have to be US only. So much as I would have loved to put the hilarious Iron Brew ad that parodies the snowman, or the amazingly powerful Sainsbury's commercial that tells the story of the Christmas truce, I'm really sorry, but they aired only in the UK, so I only saw them via internet, and it's not like I grew up with them or have fond memories of them or anything for obvious reasons, so they're not on here. Remember, this isn't trying to be a best of list, it's just me highlighting some personal nostalgia. Remember, this is all opinion and to invite discussion. Have you got a memorable holiday commercial that played in between your favorite shows? Leave a comment and let's deck the halls. And to switch things up a bit, this is going to be a top 12 list. Why? Because of the 12 days of Christmas, of course. So here we go. These are my top 12 favorite Christmas commercials. Number 12. Let's start things off with one that only people from my home state are going to be familiar with. I don't know if other states advertise their lotteries as much as this, but for over 20 plus years now, you know the holiday season has started when this starts making the rounds on the local channels again. It features an older guy, Joe, heading out to the local newsstand, food truck, whatever you want to call it, to buy lottery tickets for people, all while a group of carolers sing about the different kinds of tickets you can get to the tune of the 12 days of Christmas. It's remained virtually unchanged except that every few years they have to update and redub the song to coincide with whatever the new tickets are. Honestly, I used to get kind of annoyed by it since it's played for so long, and admittedly it's kinda hokey. The fact that everyone's acting so ridiculously excited to get a lottery ticket in their Christmas card.
Happy holidays, Rita.
Thanks, Joe.
What a great gift.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. A scratch-off wedged into your card or stocking or something's cute. But these people act as if they were just handed a gold bar from Fort Knox. But I've since circled back around to liking it again, but more out of a morbid sense of humor. Clearly those tickets didn't pay off since Rita's still working out of a food truck, and Joe was old back when the commercial first aired. Are any of these people even alive anymore? Is Joe a zombie or a robot at this point? Well, in any case, this ad does continue to evoke a warm greeting card feeling with all the snow, the whole town's decorated, and all the locals are friendly to each other and know one another by name. Whether you're legitimately moved by it, or low-key annoyed by it, or get a laugh out of it for arguably the wrong reasons, like it or not, there's no denying that Christmas in Pennsylvania hasn't started until Joe buys his annual lottery tickets again. Number 11. Here's one that'll send the awe meter into overload. This is one I haven't seen in a long time, but remember pretty clearly from back in the day. When it comes to commercials, you can't go wrong with a cute dog, and this ad has 3 of them. It looks like the kids in this house are going to get puppies for Christmas, but oh no! Not 2 minutes and they've already making a mess of the house. But luckily Santa has a brand new Dirt Devil vacuum and all its lovely attachments that make magical sparkly sounds as he cleans up the mess he inadvertently made by not keeping these things in a box until morning. Apparently everyone in this house are the heaviest sleepers ever because 3 barking dogs and a vacuum cleaner isn't enough to wake them up. And what happened the next day? Merry Christmas everyone! Your living room's destroyed and your new vacuum's already gently used, but hey, you got 3 new dogs out of the deal. Okay, jokes aside, this is easily one of the cutest blasts from the past that'll actually get you motivated to clean your house.
For Christmas and all year round, nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil.
Number 10. On the subject of Santa making a mess in your house, here's another one from way back when that I have clear memories of. A girl leaves out snacks for Santa Claus, which includes cookies and fruit punch? Well, that's different. Either that or she was dipping into Mommy's wine rack. Anyway, she manages to have the most convenient timing ever as Santa just so happens to be coming down the chimney, and apparently years of doing this job made him no less clumsy because he swings his bags of gifts around like a baseball bat and splats the neon red Gatorade, seriously, what is in that cup, all over the floor. But never fear, little Susie's here with some bounty paper towels to soak up the mess so her parents are none the wiser. And in exchange for keeping quiet about his coordination problems, Santa gives the little girl an extra special gift. Surprise! It's more paper towels! Listen, kid, I got more houses to get to. There's 3 puppies in the other room running amok. Could you take care of that for me? Thanks! Seriously, folks, make sure to clear your living room of any occupational hazards before Santa arrives, or else you may be wishing you put a mop and bucket on your wish list.
Happy holidays and a bountiful new year.
Number 9. Now for something a little different. I could give not a single crap about sports in any capacity, but this one stuck with me, probably due to how simple but clever it is. Just listen. Yep, that's Carol of the Bells they're playing. With basketballs. I guess that would make this Carol of the Balls?
Is my in a box?
Shut up, leave your naughty jokes in the corner. Actually, the way they pulled this off is interesting. Apparently, each player was filmed separately with cues made off camera to match with the song's rhythm, then digitally spliced together in with all the other players. What results is one of the most unique versions of a classic melody you'll ever hear. It'd be great if they brought this idea back again. Anyone out there remember Stomp, that performance group that made music out of household objects? I could totally see them being able to pull this off on stage somehow. I guess they just have to adjust the air pressure in the balls or something.
Stop saying that word.
In any case, sports may not be my thing, but the NBA's come up with some pretty clever holiday ads, and this one, to me, was their best. Number 8. Now on to one that I'm sure everyone and their mother knows. Ironic that I don't like chocolate at all, but still it's cute. Much like the previous entry, sometimes it's the simplest ideas that are the most memorable, and in this case it also makes something timeless and gives it longevity. This is Hershey's longest running commercial in history, beginning in 1989 and continuing to make the rounds every holiday season since then. A Hershey's Kiss is conveniently bell-shaped, so it was ingenious to have them play We Wish You a Merry Christmas with the kisses acting as the bells. They're spread out like carolers or a choir, but I also think it's neat that they just so happen to also form a pseudo Christmas tree shape too. I think my favorite is the kiss at the end who just gives it their all with that final shake. It's like the cherry on top of the ice cream sundae. A note to everyone in the advertising business, just like how a chocolate kiss is a simple treat that can bring joy to people, sometimes simple really is the best. Number 7. Okay, enough with the warm fuzzies. Time for a funny one. I'm not sure exactly when this came out, but considering it's pushing fax machines, Blackberries, and digital cameras as the hot new thing, that's a clue as to how old it is. Apparently, office supply stores like Staples had more advanced tech than Apple back in the day because this place managed to snag itself a full-blown robot servant who boasts about all the cool tech you can get your loved ones. Until...
Could you tell me about the scanner fax copier?
No.
But I want to get it from my brother.
Get him a cell phone.
No, he really wants one of these.
He can't have her. I love her.
What?
No. Weeping.
It's okay. You found just someone else.
Oh.
Okay, couple things. One, I wish retail employees were allowed to be this tough. Seriously, dude, who the heck wants a fax machine for Christmas? Get them the phone. 2, is it sad that the robot exhibits more sympathy and empathy than customers do during shopping season? 3, dump that surge protector. You're too good for her. And 4, considering just how automated everything's become, including the rise of online shopping, ad statistics, and self-checkouts, maybe this commercial was more ahead of its time than we thought. Word to the wise, if your smartphone or laptop starts giving you looks, maybe it's time to trade it away. Or go outside.
Get more for less at Staples.
Number 6. Ah, another classic. Like seriously, these commercials literally make you go, ah. The sound of sipping a nice cold CocaCola. And Coke is typically red, so that's like half of the Christmas colors right there. This one's a bit more unique in that instead of it being the same commercial being brought back every year, it's the characters that get brought back every year, but it's a new scenario each time. There's no dialogue or even much of a story at all. It's just a bunch of polar bears doing cute things for about 20 seconds before they all decide to have a Coke. But looking back on all of them, you can see the gradual progression of the CGI as the animation gets exponentially better each year. Which one do I like the most? Hard to say. You could pick anyone, really. Probably any of the ones that have penguins in it, as penguins make everything better. The only real question I have is, why polar bears? I mean, I guess they give off the image of ice and snow and stuff, but still, by Christmas time it's freezing out in most places, so wouldn't you want to evoke something a bit warmer? Unless they're advertising how cold their drink is, but isn't that up to us? Yeah, Coke can be a cold, refreshing drink, if I put it in the fridge. Well, whatever the thinking was behind this, it must have hit all the right buttons because they're a cuddly bunch of animal friends that I think we all look forward to seeing every year. If anything, they certainly got good taste. Number 5. Here's another age-old classic for ya. When it's the middle of winter and you're freezing your butt off, nothing will taste better or warm you up faster than some good old Campbell Soup. And apparently even snowmen have their limits because this one decides to come inside and sit down for some chicken noodle. Except surprise, it's actually a kid under all that snow. Which begs the question, either this is some Pinocchio situation where if you give a snowman some soup he'll turn into a real boy, or this kid has the most inattentive parents ever because how long was he out there that he literally turned into a snowman and nearly froze to death? Actually, I'm curious to know what happened to this kid. The actor, I mean. Obviously, he's all grown up. I wonder what he's up to nowadays. Same with the Bounty Paper Towel Girl. Is she a 30-something now, still out there cleaning up spills? We'll probably never know. Well, wherever they are now, one thing's certain. This ad perfectly encapsulates the feeling of being warmed up from the inside out.
Let it snow, let it snow. Campbell.
Number 4. For any fans of The Nightmare Before Christmas, here's a nice little bonus story for you. It's the most recent one on this list, having only come out just a few years ago as of the time of this video, but has already gained a ton of popularity, and for good reason. A lonely man sits alone in his cabin up in the snowy woods trying to record a song on his phone when he decides to head down in the local village, revealing to the audience that he's actually Frankenstein's creature? Okay, well, considering that some stores are already putting out Christmas decorations even before Halloween, I guess it isn't that weird. Anyway, Frankie arrives in town to the shock of the townspeople, where he plugs in some lights into his neck bolts and tries to sing some carols. But when one of the lights goes out, a little girl fixes it for him, and soon the whole town starts singing carols with him. It's so odd, yet you can't help but be moved by it. It's also ironic, considering that the creature is seen by many in countless versions of the Frankenstein story as a blasphemous, unholy creation, to see him partaking in what's arguably the holiest holiday of the year. A man decides to play God, and now his creation celebrates the most important birthday in all of history. How's that for a paradox? I think what gets me is that all the creature ever wanted was to just be loved and accepted, and it's so satisfying to finally see him get the affection that he rarely gets in most adaptions. My only hang-up is that I think this ad might have made more sense if it was for, I don't know, GE or some electric company or something. Why a smartphone? Well, put it this way, you know you've crafted something special when the thing that I think is weird is the product itself, and not the idea of classic monsters taking jaunts through towns ripped out of a Hallmark Channel movie. It's a gentle reminder to show kindness and empathy to those who may be a little different from everyone else. Number 3. Staying with Apple for a moment, here's one that nearly made me cry the first time I saw it. A young woman is sifting through her family's old things when she comes across a record that, it turns out, her grandma recorded for her grandpa, a special song they used to share together. While it's clear he served in the war and that he couldn't be home for the holidays, we're left wondering if he died in the war, or if he eventually did come home and passed away later. Whatever the exact backstory is, either way, he's not here anymore, and the grandma no doubt misses him. So the granddaughter goes out of her way to re-record the song now as a duet thanks to a bit of modern tech, and slipping in the old photos for good measure. And needless to say, Grandma has a lovely moment thinking about her husband and the family he either didn't get to see or only experienced briefly. First off, this is a much better application of what a smartphone can do compared to the previous entry. And second, the only thing we hear is the song. There's otherwise no dialogue, and none is needed. Everything you need to know is told just through the song, the photos, and everyone's reactions. In just under a minute, you immediately get the sense of a long family history, and you're left to imagine all the memories this lady must be reflecting on, all because of a dusty record that her grandkids stumbled across. It goes to show the true power of what giving a gift can do for someone, especially a personalized homemade gift that you can't find anywhere else except in your heart.
My darling Raymond, though you can't be here for the holidays, we'll always be together in my heart.
Number 2. So number 7 was kind of the only funny one on this list. Let's throw in one more. One that I've never forgotten and dearly wish they'd bring back. So anyone out there remember the infamous "Got Milk" slogan? That ad campaign encouraging people to drink more milk? Well, apparently in the 90s and early 2000s, nutritionists were really pushing to make sure everyone fulfilled their daily dairy portion of the food pyramid, because a similar ad campaign was launched promoting the power of cheese. All of these ads were pretty funny, showing off all the amazing things people could do if they just ate some cheese. Wallace and Gromit would be proud.
Cheese. We'll go somewhere where there's cheese.
But by far the most hilarious one is their Christmas-themed ad. It starts off with a little girl waking up all amazed at what she got for Christmas, but at first we don't get to see what it is. She rushes to go get her parents and show them what Santa brought, and then...
Whoa. Those must have been some cookies you left Santa.
I didn't
leave them cookies. I left them cheese.
I'm glad the internet's a thing now because I have to keep pausing just to try and pick out everything that's crammed into this living room. There's even an entire car. How the heck did Santa fit a freaking car in there? But what I'm really curious about is how many real-life kids saw this ad, then tried doing the same thing and left out cheese in the hopes that their Christmas morning would look like this. I can only imagine their crushing disappointment. Sorry kid, if you want that latest video game system with all the bells and whistles, you're gonna have to at least leave out some mozzarella. Or dip into your Tooth Fairy money. Well, I'm not sure how successful these ads were in terms of inspiring healthy eating, but it did teach us that when it comes to trying to impress Santa, milk and cookies just isn't gonna cut it anymore.
Behold the power of cheese.
And my #1 favorite Christmas commercial is... Okay, so this last one's going to require a bit of background first. Remember back at number 12 when we started off with a local commercial? How fitting that we end the list with one too. For those of you who don't live in Pennsylvania, then you may not know about this little family restaurant chain called Eaton Park, which has been around for decades now. To my knowledge and from what I could find, Eaton Park has a few locations in Ohio and West Virginia, but for the most part is primarily based in Pennsylvania. Anyway, the Place for Smiles, as they're called, has their own holiday staple that plays every single year, and it goes like this.
We hope the special lift you get this holiday season lasts all year long. Happy holidays from Eaton Park.
For something that's so short and sweet, I found this ad actually has an interesting backstory. I'll just read right from the Eaton Park website archive here. It started in early 1982. Eaton Park was just beginning to blossom into the family restaurant chain that you're now familiar with, and the company was prospering. Our CEO at the time wanted to create a holiday card on video to thank the city of Pittsburgh for their support of Eaton Park. So he charged the ad agency at the time with creating a message that would, quote, last for 20 years. They worked for 3 weeks generating over 30 ideas, none of which met approval. Eventually they hit upon the idea of an animated commercial. They sketched out a star, a traditional holiday image, and then stopped and thought, how does the star get on top of the tree? They played around with a few ideas until deciding that of course the star would need some help from the tree itself. And an ageless favorite was born. Even better, the commercial has outlasted the original expectations. The idea of the relationship between the tree and the star illustrates a timeless holiday lesson. By helping another, you're helping yourself, and you're making the world a better place. So yeah, you heard right. The Hershey's Kiss ad is infamous for running since '89. This one has been running continuously every year since '82, a full 7 years before that, and thus it's widely believed to be the longest running Christmas commercial in the United States. And the bittersweet thing is that because it's local, not everyone gets to see it. But thanks to the power of the internet, I hope its magic can spread to even more people. Much like the Hershey's Kiss ad, this one is so incredibly simple, and yet I get teary-eyed every time it comes on every season. In under 20 seconds, without the need of any intricate plot or words, or without shoving any products in your face, it manages to say everything about what the holidays are about. Light, decorations, warmth, and most importantly, helping someone when they clearly need help. I think the way the music swells as the tree grabs the star is what always gets to me. This is one of the many things my hometown can be proud of, and it's not Christmas in Pittsburgh until it makes its annual appearance. And it's why it easily takes the #1 spot for my favorite Christmas commercial. I'm Cartoon 12 and I hope you enjoyed the countdown. I'll have more top 10 lists soon, and if you liked what you've seen, be sure to subscribe for similar discussions on fandom favorites. I'll see you all next time, and happy holidays everyone!